Alright, so if you've seen the last video I did on this and you've read the comments, I just want to apologize for the confusion. I did have the two reels confused, being the HD and the original model. I had those two confused. So I just want to squash this confusion. The Winn, if you want to see that video, I explain it a little bit better. Just everything I say about the HD is actually the original, and I apologize about that. Now, I'd like to get into this. I did not have the original in the last video, so I would like to talk about the Winn versus the original versus the HD. Let's start off with the original. The original, everyone who's fished it, everyone who started off with this, they all love it. I've never heard a bad thing about it, not once. I personally have never fished the original. It's Black Friday. Turner's was having a really great deal. They were selling the original Lexa for $124 when the normal retail price is anywhere from $200 to $250. They are also selling the 300 model for $99, and that price I just could not pass up myself. So this one is mine. The 400 is my dad's. He decided to finally get the Lexa. He figured since the original and the Winn are practically the same reel, the only difference being color wise and the handle, he figured why not? How can you pass up on that? The original 400, phenomenal reel, everyone loves it. I don't want to get too into the specs, but I will tell you right now, 400 is the biggest size. This one is the 6:3 to 1 gear ratio. The HD and the Winn 400 that I have are the high speed, and they are both 7.1 to 1 gear ratio, I believe, but they are a little bit higher speed gear ratio. This one is made with brass internals, and if I had to choose on looks, whether I like this one more or the HD more, honestly I like this one more. If you saw the last video that I made on this, the blue and gold, I just don't personally think that looks all that great. So I think that gray and black really does look amazing, and I was gonna get the original over the HD when I was first getting my first Lexa, but I figured the HD was a little bit better, so I figured why not just go ahead and get the HD. Now let's talk about the HD. This is the 400 HD Lexa high speed power handle. I personally do love the power handle over paddle handle. I didn't realize it until my dad just purchased the paddle handle. Original Lexa is the handle itself is the exact same size. So what you're basically paying for is the knob itself. The knob I personally do like because you can get a good grasp on it. Your whole hand can fit on there instead of basically holding it with 3 fingers. Like so, 2 fingers, 3 fingers. You can't fit much more than 3 fingers on there. However, with the power handle, you got a nice grip on there. Anyone who's fished a conventional reel knows what I'm talking about. I mean, but the HD is made with a little bit better internals, more corrosion resistant. They're stainless steel internals instead of the brass internals original and on the Winn. Corrosion resistant wise, this is a little bit better. 7.1 to 1 gear ratio, so it's going to reel a little bit faster than the original. I believe that the original Lexa, they do make a high speed, but we did not get that one. A little bit higher gear ratio than the original Lexa that we have. Better internals, so it will last a little bit longer, being that it is stainless steel internals. And last but not least, we got the Winn. If you had to ask me on looks of all 3 reels, I personally think that the Winn looks a lot better than the other two. But the Winn, they just went back to their old roots, made the exact same reel as the original. This one is a higher gear ratio than the original that we have, but it has brass internals instead of stainless steel internals that the HD has, and I got the power handle as well, as I told you before. But the thing that I do like with the Winn instead of the HD is they named it the Winn because they teamed up with Winn Grips, and Winn Grips made this phenomenal knob, and in my opinion, I personally do like this knob a lot more than the HD knob for the mere fact that it grips really well, and it helps out a lot when you're fighting a big fish and your hand's wet. I throw irons, I will throw bait as well, but I do throw irons more on the Lexa than live bait. I've noticed when you're cranking in your iron and you hook up, sometimes when your hand is too wet, I've noticed that my hand slips off the HD knob, and with the Winn, that has not happened to me once. And I've fought quite a few big fish on this reel already. In my opinion, if they were to make the next Lexa any better, I'd say make the HD with better colors, but team up with Winn grips again. I think that would make it excellent. The Winn does look a lot sexier, in my opinion. That's all I really have to say. I'm mainly doing this video to to squash the confusion of my previous video on the Winn versus the HD, and I figured it'd be a lot better to do it now that we have the original as well. So with that being said, the original and the HD are the two exact same reels. If you have to choose between these two, retail price, it's the same price. However, this one, in my opinion, looks better and feels better. And if you're going for corrosion resistant wise, which one's going to last a little bit longer, it's going to end up being the HD. With that being said, I have heard great things about Daiwa's service system. Before I bought the Lexa, I saw somebody fishing the original, and I talked to him about it, and I said, how much do you like the Lexa? And he said, by all means, I would highly recommend getting it. He could not be happier with the way it performs. And he said he fishes the original, but he said he's been fishing it for about 3 years now. He hasn't had any problems, but he said once a year he'll send in his reel and get it serviced by Daiwa. And I don't know if they replace all the internals or what, but what I do know is he said that he sends it in for service every year and comes back and it's tip-top shape, phenomenal, brand new again. In my opinion, since that is a true fact, if you had to go with the HD or the Winn, my personal opinion, I would go with the Winn. Looks a lot better, and with their service system, I would definitely... Why would you not go with the one that looks better to you? Obviously, the HD is better internally wise, but if they have as good of a policy as I've heard, just go what looks better to you. That's my personal opinion. So that's all I have today on these three reels. For those of you who have seen my last video, hopefully I've cleared up some of the confusion for you guys. If you haven't seen my last video, hopefully I have helped you out in some way. Please comment if you have any further questions, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.